Good morning. We are now in week 6 of Social Work 541, Social and Economic Justice. And week 6, the topic is around community practice, advocacy, and technology. So as always, we have our learning resources. First, our objectives, which are to describe the theory of collective efficacy, to describe techniques of community advocacy, and to apply technological skills for community practice, including the use of social media. There are a group of readings on collective efficacy, on community advocacy, and then using social media for advocacy, as well as week 6 supplemental readings. There are no outside media requirements for this week. Week 6 overview describes all of those topics that were outlined in the objectives and are covered in the reading. So this will load in a second. And so again, the topic this week is community practice, advocacy, and technology. We talked about the objectives for this week already. Collective efficacy states while the goals of community practice efforts vary, one of the commonly identified purposes is to strengthen a community's ability to work on its own problems, which gets to the concept of empowerment. And so collective efficacy builds organizational capacity, community capacity. So there are many strategies around building a community's collective efficacy that include building and supporting social networks, positive reinforcement for achievements, building collaborative trust among participants, maximizing opportunity for participation by participants, and eliminating barriers. How does this relate to advocacy? Advocacy can be both either externally provided or directed by participants themselves. But ultimately, we want the communities to work themselves or itself to be better advocates for themselves. What is advocacy? Advocacy implies empowerment and also arguing a case on behalf of others. So advocacy could be around affecting or changing policy legislation, affecting or changing organizational practices, influencing administrators or judicial actions, and then bringing the attention of the media to a problem. Why advocate? There's this quote here by Oscar Wilde, but essentially, if there is no advocacy, communities remain stagnant and the status quo stays in effect. So at some point, somebody has to start trying to make a difference, and advocacy is one of those ways to do that. There are skills that are required. So we have to define what it is we're advocating about. We need an answer, identify the target, create a plan, implement that plan, and then evaluate to see if it was effective. You can do this by writing letters to policymakers, writing legislator briefs or fact sheets, doing in-person contacts. I would strongly encourage each of you to see who your politicians are, say at the state level, and see where their local offices are and go visit them, because they work for their constituents and like to hear from their constituents. Testify at hearings and understand who your legislators are, what projects, what policies they are most in tune with, and look to try to influence them to consider issues that you and the community feel are needed to make changes in that community. What are some of the skills of doing legislative advocacy? You need to work with the staff, build relationships with them, develop lobbying strategies, learning the process, how it works to get a bill passed, for example, and building support and developing collaborations. All of these skills require good communication skill and good strategy. So you need to know your audience. Again, as I said before, what's important to them and what could be some of the barriers. What's the best medium? Know that everybody doesn't read, everyone doesn't watch TV, everyone doesn't have a computer, but and not everyone is connected by Facebook to Facebook. So all those methods are effective, but word of mouth in the community is often the best. Technology, however, cannot be ignored. And while everyone's not on Facebook these days, many people are on Facebook. So we need to understand how we can use Facebook, Twitter, blogs, emails to get the message out. They are low cost, they're instant, and they reach a whole lot of people. So what are some of our additional resources? These are some websites that can help in terms of advocacy. Week 6, there's already someone who's posted, but week 6, the discussion board is around social media and advocacy. So for week 6, you are to, after you do the readings, describe an advocacy or community social problem that you've been part of or one you've read about. Describe the strengths of using social media around the example you've chosen, and then conversely, could social media have been more effective? Then respond to 2 of your classmates. As always, the initial post is due by Thursday, and then the subsequent post between Friday and Sunday, and you're responding to 2 of your classmates. In week 6, assignment 3, community needs and services plan is due. And for this, you refer back to instructions in the getting started section of the syllabus so that you know what is required with your dyad partner for week 6. And so you're developing a logical plan to deal with the community problems that you've chosen. Provide a brief summary of the community and the problem you are targeting. This, in essence, is an abstract of what you presented in your community needs analysis. Provide a literature review with no fewer than 10 references to discuss interventions used in other communities to deal with the same problem. Of those 10, you may use up to 3 from the class readings, but you would want to find 7 others that will provide some enlightenment on how other communities have dealt with the problem you have chosen. Your community intervention plan, this should include the theoretical model that's guiding your plan and include a description of at least 5 specific advocacy organizing activities that actually comprise the intervention. At least 2 of these 5 should be targeted at the media, local or state politicians, or other power interests in the community. This includes a plan to write a press release and a letter to the editor of a local paper or brief to a politician or other power interests. And this provides you with the rubric for the grading of this written assignment. Also included for the week is a note about the completion of the course evaluation. So please, I believe you can begin it in week 6. It'll be still available week 7, but please provide feedback on the course so that if changes need to be made, then the School of Social Work is aware of those changes and can consider what needs to be made. So again, this is week 6. If you have questions, please let me know. Get an email to me as quickly as possible, and I look forward to reading your posts for the discussion and also reading your community needs and services plan for week 6. And with that, have a wonderful week.